windows down since I'm parked on a side street in a richier neighborhood. Woo! Welcome to As Jim Sees It. This is Chris. We're coming to you live. You know what? I'm going to go somewhere where I'm like, I don't want somebody giving me grief. I mean, you can park on the sides of the streets here, but I don't feel like dealing with drama this morning. Some rich person getting mad. Well, there's not a lot of rich people around. I mean, they're affluent. I don't want to deal with the drama. Well, things have been pretty. So I don't want to say discouraging, because if I say discouraging, that puts me in a bad mind frame. But they have been a grind. They have been enduring. I have learned things about people and work that I didn't. This is the first thing I learned about when looking for a job. And I don't know why it took me this long to learn it. I actually used to do it kind of naturally and not think anything about it. Anytime I go into a place that is potential employment, I do not ask a worker if they are hiring, because 1, they realistically don't know. 2, they don't hire anybody. 3, they might be intimidated by the idea of not being able to have hours. So they might lie and say, no, we're not hiring, because they don't want to lose their hours. 4, they might worry they're going to get outperformed if they're lazy. So they're going to say, hey, no, we're not hiring. So the first thing I do when I go to a place looking for a job, and I learned this in California finally, first thing I do, can I speak to the hiring manager? And if they say, are you looking for a job? I say, are you the hiring manager? And 9 times out of 10, they say no. I say, okay, I'd like to speak to the hiring manager, please. And I'm very excited about it. Like, there was a guy who I went to a Burger King, and he had a neck tattoo and his face was tattooed. And I said, could I please speak to the hiring manager? And he said, oh, we're not hiring. And I'm like, are you the hiring manager? I was real cool about it. Not a smart ass, not a jerk. He was like, no. I said, can you please get the hiring manager? So he was fucking pissed. And he goes and I'm sorry about the swearing, but he goes and gets her, and then she comes back, and she's got really bad broken English. And I asked her, I said, are you hiring? And she's like, no. I said, okay, thank you. But that's like what I mean. If you're going to look for a job, don't ask an employee, ask a hiring manager. 2, just filling out job apps on Indeed, I do not believe is good enough. You can fill out the job app on Indeed. You can fill out a great resume. But I think unless you follow up with a phone call, you're not going to get any results. I will show on my community page, I have filled out 52 applications in 4 weeks. 52. And that doesn't include the ones that I filled out going to random places here in California. McDonald's, Burger King, Chevron, all these different places. And all of them will say, we're not hiring, we're not hiring, we're not hiring. So follow up by going to the business. That's what I'm going to do from now on, because it's just getting to be too frustrating to fill out 3 applications a day and get a no. No, we're not hiring. No, we're not hiring. No, we're not hiring. It's like, there's no way. You have hiring signs everywhere. I'm presenting myself with a sense of professionalism. I'm going in there confident, calm, and relaxed and ready to work with a resume. I want to work. I have reliable transportation. That's a big thing in California. Not a lot of people have reliable transportation a lot of them ride the bus and a lot of them are riding bikes. Not everybody, but a lot of the people that are the places I'm going to, like Chevrons, Burger Kings, and I'm not creating any type of bias or stigma on anybody. That's just the facts. You can see them getting off the bus and going to work because it's so expensive out here. And everybody that's making the money is working the tech jobs and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm going in there and I'm not getting any positive results. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening, you know? So I had a job I went to in Los Angeles. When was it? Friday. I went down Thursday. I had the interview Friday. I walk in. I've got a driver's license. It's from Ohio. The lady goes, well, you need a California driver's license. And I was like, okay, what do I got to do to get that? I didn't say that. I was like, okay, it's in the mail. I mean, I'm not going to, I lied. I said, it's in the mail. And I knew I was going to go get one before they started me on the job. I would get one. Like, there's no doubt, because I need to work. I want to work. I believe in the ethic of work. You have to work to make money. Thank you for the thumbs up. You got to work. You can't live and not work. And if I'm going to achieve my goal of writing and getting a screenplay out there and finishing my book about doing the van life and get a poetry book online, I have to have money to do that, right? I'm not going to just be some whiz that's studying out like magic out of the side of my, thank you for the second thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe. Out of the magic of my hand. I got to work. I got to work prior to that. I got to have something coming in, supplementing the income until the income can regularly be creative, right? And once I become creative, I need to be in the habit of working, right? I need to be used to 40 hours a week, because that's what it's going to be, 40, 60, 80 hours a week creating stuff. It's the same way. Thanks again for the thumbs up. So I got to work, period, the end. And I go to the job interview and she's like, you need a driver's license. And I'm like, I have a driver's license. She's like, you need a California driver's license. I said, it's in the mail. And she looked at me and she goes, I need it today. And I go, okay, I'll be back. She goes, you need to bring in the receipt that shows you bought the driver's license. I said, okay. So I left and I went right to the driver's license bureau. And I walked in and this is what I said. I said, I have a job interview right now. They require a California license today. I live in a van. I don't have an address. California is a good state to do this in. They have the right people that can guide you what you got to do and where you got to go for this situation. And I knew that coming here. So I was like, what do I do? Lady gives me this piece of paper. She said, you need to go to government services and ask for a voucher to get your driver's license today. I said, okay. So thanks for the thumbs up. That's number 4. So I went all, let it. So I went all the way down to, I don't know where, I have the name of the place right here. Hold on, give me a second. Let me look it up. Doing my morning breakfast. Let me look it up. Give me a second. It's a place that provides food stamps and all that other good stuff, right? Oh, I am definitely in a van. No, I say I'm in a van down by the ocean. No, not trying to deport me. Not yet. So it's called the California Department of Social Services, County of Los Angeles. And I walk up to the front area, huge line, tons of people. Before I walk up there, there is a booth giving out a bunch of free cell phones to people. And I'm like, I don't need one of those. I've got a phone. I'm not trying to get free stuff. So I walk past that line. Everybody's scattering around like chickens, eating seed. And I get to the front and there's this lady and she's got a presence and an energy about her, very dynamic and secure and confident. And I just walked up to her. I said, hey, what's going on? She's like, how can I help you, sir? I mean, there was a huge line. I said, so I'm going to just tell you straight up. I need a driver's license. She's like, well, honey, you at the wrong place. I said, well, I need a voucher for a driver's license. She goes, okay. She goes, well, this is getting services. I go, right, right. So I was told to come here if I want to get my driver's license today. And I'm going over a story right now. I'll let you know, like, update of what's going on. So she goes, all right, well, you need to be getting services before you can get the voucher. I said, okay. I'm here for services. Sign me up. What do I got to get? She's like, well, this is for food stamps. No, I said, there we go. I said, I live in my van. I'll take some food stamps. I wasn't going to take the food stamps. So she goes, go to that line over there. I said, I just need a voucher for my driver's license. She said, look, honey, if you're just coming here for that, I don't think that they're going to give it to you, but we'll try. I said, I'm going to get the food stamps and then go from there. She said, okay, go to the line. So they run me through this line. They have it airport security. There's like a box you got to put all your stuff in. So you take it out of your pocket, drop it in, drop it in, drop it in. You got to put your hands up. You got to go through. They metal detect you. You come through. And again, it's a government building. They put up with a lot of drama. It's downtown LA. And take it easy, Lance. So I go to the elevator, hit floor number 2, go up to come to this booth, this area that's 3 sides of a square. I walk in, turn to my right. I see a guy there. I said, am I in the right spot or am I cutting in line? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, no, you're good. He goes, how can I help you? I said, I need a driver's license and the voucher for it. But I was told I can't get those unless I sign up for food stamps. So I'm here to sign up for food stamps. He goes, okay, what's your address? I said, I don't have one. I live in a van. He said, okay, cool. Well, this is your new address. Boom. So he gives me an address. It's at the social services building. They do that for people that are living in their vehicles. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, I need you to go to this floor, bring this paper. This is your caseworker. They're going to help you get your food stamps. Have a good day. I was like, dude, you're awesome, bro. He totally helped me out, ran me through, got me there. So I filled out a very nice little form. I go, is there a form? What's your name? First and last. I fill it out. I'm like, this guy was super helpful. Really, really grateful for the work and time he put in. Hope he gets a raise. Boom, throw it in there. Go up to the floor, wait there, draw a picture. You can see what those are. You can check them out on my community page. I've been doing this surreal art and building videos out of it. You can check out the shorts feeds. Go ahead and look at that. And also, there will be a video update as to what's been going on with the job that I'm discussing right now. So we're going to finish the story up to the job. If you want to see the rest of the story, you're going to have to go and check it out. It'll say rest of the story from the live feed in LA, downtown, and the driver's license. But we'll bring you up to that point until then. So I'm sitting there. She walks in, very beautiful woman. She's got tattooed angel numbers all over her knuckles. 111, 444, 1111, 33. I says, hey, what are those tattoos about? She goes, oh, I'm big into angel numbers. I said, that's cool. I just spilled my coffee all over myself again. God, man, that's the second time I've done this. Whatever. I'm just gonna keep going with the story. So she, yeah, right. Oops. So we go over everything. She's like, you're going to have to fill out this, sign here, fill out this, sign here, fill out this, sign here. I do it. She says, you get your food stamps in 3 to 5 days. Sir, here you go. Have a good day. Hands me my paperwork. And I'd say, hey, so I need a voucher for my driver's license. She goes, oh, okay. She goes, you need to go to floor 1. So I make my way to the elevator, hit the button, take some pictures for some mosaic pictures I'm going to use to build in some upcoming surrealism. I go to the floor that I need to go to, which I believe is back at section B of floor 2. I go in there. I sit down. I see this very kind lady, very, very wonderful energy. And she says, how can I help you, sir? I said, I need to get my food stamp card. She goes, all right, here you go. I said, and I need a voucher for my driver's license. I'll be straight with you. I have a job interview. I don't even want these food stamps. I'm not even going to use them once I get the job. I probably won't even have to use them. I believe that these food stamps are for people that need them. I want to work. I'm capable of working. I have a good budget. I am only getting, what up, black sheep? I'm only getting these food stamps so I can get a voucher to get my driver's license. So now I've got an address, an established residency down in LA, and I'm supposed to be getting food stamps. She's like, well, those aren't active yet. I said, right. They aren't active yet. They're going to take a little while, but I have a job interview that I've got to go back to today with a driver's license. And the only way I can get that driver's license is if you guys give me the voucher. She said, this is what I'm going to do. She said, I'm going to talk to my manager. And if they think it's legit, we're going to give you the voucher. So go sit over there. I'll call your name. I said, okay. So I went over there. I said, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. If it's not, I'm not going to get pissed off. I'm just going to leave. I sat down, waited 10 minutes. She called my name. Christopher, go see the manager. I go see the manager. I sit down. She goes, what's going on, honey? I said, I have a job interview today. The only way I'm going to be able to get this job, which was a job making $17.60 an hour plus cash tips and any tips they put on credit cards, which in LA, you make a killing, an absolute boggling amount of money driving people around. And I've got a lot of experience with it. It was part-time, only the weekends, third shift, downtown LA, so I could hit the pavements during the week, right? Try to sell the screenplay and then move forward. And I'm like, my hands are getting warm. My stomach's flipping. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to work out. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Something I actually worked at and planned for is going right. I'm being responsible. I'm doing the next right thing. It's going to work out. She goes, all right. She goes, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the voucher. And I said, and as soon as I get the job, I'm throwing this food stamp card away. I'm not even going to use it. She goes, that's fine. You do whatever you want with it. I said, okay. So she goes and gets the paper. And she says to the one guy, this man needs a license right here for a voucher. He goes, yeah, we're all out of those. And I heard him say it, and I'm like, no, maybe I heard it wrong. She'll tell me if they're all out. She turns around, she goes, all right, let me go get the voucher. And I was like, all right, I heard it wrong. She gets the voucher, hands it to me. I get out of there. I'm like, I can't believe it, dude. I got the voucher, so I'm headed back to the license bureau. I walk up. I get there. There's a completely different person in the front than there was before. Thank everybody for the likes. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So I say to the guy, hey, man, what's going on? I've got a driver's license voucher. I'd like to get my driver's license. He's like, well, you have to, you're not going to be able to get your driver's license. The person that was here before you started today that I can go and get a voucher, which I just spent the last 4 hours running around downtown LA running into hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. And now I'm here with my driver's license. I would like to get he says, well, you're not going to be able to get it. And I said, okay, so this is what I'm going to need to know. What do I need to get it? And he's like, here, it's on this piece of paper. And I look on the piece of paper, and I had the two things that I needed to get it. I had both of them. And it said birth certificate, picture ID, which I had both of, and something that establishes California residency, which I had just gotten at the social services building in downtown LA. I had 3 forms of identification for this guy. And he's trying to tell me I'm not going to be able to get my license, right? He's not one of the ladies that you get the license from either. He's just a person that you talk to before you go get the license. What I think is the little prick had an ounce of power, and he needed to extend and show that he can let you have the line to get a license. So I'm like, you see this right here? I go, this is a voucher. And you see that right there? That's a driver's license. I don't want to talk to you anymore because you're making this difficult for me. I want to talk to your boss. That's who I want to put me in line so I can go get what I need to get, because this ain't right, dude. And he goes, oh, take a number. So I take my number. I'm take my number. Thank you very much. Right? I sit down. It's 2:30. I was supposed to be at this interview at 11, and I was there at 11 in the beginning of the day. And the lady sent me out, right? She's like, go get your license, the receipt from it, and come back. So we know that you'll have it in the mail coming. So I'm like, okay, all right. So I sit down, and dude, I'm starving. And I'm just dying inside for food. And I am a maniac when I don't have food, dude. I get mean and nasty and stressed out. I stink. You know what I mean? I've been running around downtown LA all fucking morning, just smelling like BO. And I showered prior to my job interview. I'm dressed all nice. And I'm like, this is crazy, dude. So I just went and I went to Subway, right? I'm in Subway. I start chatting it up with this one cat that's working outside. Before I know it, an hour goes by. I look at my ticket. I go back to the license bureau. They passed me. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I'm so stupid. Why didn't I just get the food and bring it back here? So I have to go back in line and deal with that turd. So I just look at him and I go, I need another ticket. He gives me one. I go and sit down. And this lady, I sit next to her, right? And she like there was something wrong with me. And I just looked at her and I was like, don't flatter yourself. And then she went and sat like one seat down, you know? I'm like, get over yourself, honey. You're not that good looking. And two, I'm here to get a driver's license, not pick up women. And I didn't say the not pick up women part, but I definitely said to her, I'm like, don't flatter yourself. So I'm waiting. I start working on my religious iconography, which you can see on my community page. I'm messing around. They call my number. I walk up. This lady was super polite, super helpful right out the gate. I'm like, hey, what's up? I need a driver's license. I have a job interview. They need it today. Here's my info. Here's my driver's license. Here's my birth certificate. And I talked about it on the last live feed. A couple of you guys, I need to get a Snickers. I needed a fucking factory of Snickers, not just a Snickers. At that point, I was insane. I looked like a fucking shithouse rat, just running around hungry, you know? And she grabs the voucher. She grabs my information. She goes, okay, no problem. And I'm like, oh. She goes, this is the wrong voucher. I go, what? She goes, yeah, they gave you the one for the identification card, not the driver's license. And I was like, oh my God, I did hear it right. The lady gave me the identification card one, not the driver's license one. They were all out of the driver's license one. And she was just trying to, I think it was the end of the day, and she's seen how energetic I was and she was hoping that maybe something would work out. And I'm like, okay, what are my options? She's like, well, listen. She goes, the identification number on the ID card is identical to the one that's going to be on your driver's license. So your best bet, and she was kind of hinting, she's like, I think she was going to give me a driver's license. She's like, it's $40. And I didn't have $40. I didn't have it. I had bought a pair of boots for the job interview from Goodwill that were $35. And I know you're thinking, why would you spend that much on boots? They were Doc Martens. They were $35 and they looked super professional and new. And I'm like, dude, just buy them. It'll look better on the interview. You'll look cleaner. Buy them. And I was like, how much is the ID? She's like, $10. She's like, this is what I think you should do. If you don't have the money, buy the ID. Then when you come in here to buy the driver's license, you'll have everything you need and you can float right through the line. You don't have to do a bunch of running around. And I'm just like broken. I'm like, okay. That's fine. We'll do it. So I keep thinking, I'm like, nah, man, something will work out. So I go take my picture. They give me the receipt. And I was like, wait a second. If it's the same number on the ID as it is on the driver's license, maybe if I show this lady that I'm interviewing this receipt, she'll just like skim over it and not think anything about it. And I know it sounds dishonest, but I was trying to do whatever I could to get this thing. And either way, I would have had to wait 4 to 6 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks from what I understand. So I go back to the interview, right? And I'm thinking of the movie. There's a movie with Will Ferrell. Not Will Ferrell. with Will Smith, where he's a living, um, he becomes a stockbroker and he's living on the streets trying to sell this machine. And that's all I'm thinking about, that scene where he's like putting the pine cones underneath so he doesn't smell bad. He's missing buses. Everything's going wrong. And I kept thinking of that movie. I'm like, just, it'll work out, dude. It'll work out. And, I open up the door and the lady comes walking with this shit-eating grin. She goes, "Oh, I'm surprised you came back." And I'm like, right there, I should have known. No matter what I did, unless I had that physical license, she was not going to budge. She wasn't going to be kind. She was just going to not budge. And I was like, yeah, I told you I would do it. So and I thought at least it would show a willingness, like, hey, he pushed to get it. He got it. He got what I asked for. And she said she wanted a receipt. So I had it. She didn't say exactly what the receipt should be for. But, so she grabs it. I give her the receipt. Or I give her the receipt. She grabs it, looks at it, starts skimming it, and then starts really fine combing it with a tooth. And I'm like, no fucking way. She's like, this isn't the right one. I'm like, look, I have an Ohio driver's license. I have a driver's license. That is the same number they're gonna use on the driver's license that I'm waiting to get. She goes, legally, I cannot let you. And I'm thinking, you're a liar, because I drive for Uber Eats and I have an Ohio driver's license and they know that I'm driving in California. Oh, dude, it's crazy, bro. I got more with the food stamps. Just wait. And I'm not trying to make it, if you want me, I'm just telling the story of what I went through because it ends good. So, and I'm just, you could see the just defeat in my eyes of wanting to work. And I told her that. I'm thinking like Uber Eats, they know I'm staying in California because I told them so I'll get better orders in Ventura where I'm at. So I know she's lying. If I met some status quo, or maybe I didn't have long hair or something about me she doesn't like, and she's not going to let me through. She's like, how about this? How about you come back? And I just looked her right in the face and I was like, no. I thought to myself, Chris, if you keep taking this type of treatment from people that are going to employ you, you're going to continue on this road for the rest of your life. However much time that is. You don't know. I had a cancer scare. My buddy Jason cut what was supposedly at first, I was told, cancer out of my neck a couple years ago. So the last thing I'm going to do, not by him, he went in there and took it out. We were both scared about it, but anyhow. So you just never know. And I'm not going to spend another second. This stupid fucking cord. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. For whatever reason, the cord. All right, give me 1 second. I got to pause. All right, guys. Sorry about that. So I'm going to tell the rest of it in the next. Video upload. My battery's about to die and the charger is totally fried. It's not working at all, so I'm kind of like stuck. So we'll continue left off. I'll put it up on the video. I'll end it, but this is what I will say. So yesterday, dude, I got a lead in a job working down. I'm like emotional because I can't believe it. I'm getting that much closer to possibly being set in place to my dream. Or at least there, and that's all I wanted. I just wanted the opportunity to be able to present my script. So I got a job working downtown, moving props around in studios where there's all types of producers and directors and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, so I'll put that in the next upload. I don't think it's going to be an easy road. I think the next 10 months or 11 months is going to be brutal, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Hope everybody's doing good. But yeah, I will have on the next upload of as Jim sees it. It'll just be like a probably like a 10-minute episode explaining the rest of the story, and then I'll put some areas of LA I was walking around. I'll put down I also went to like where they have all the stars. If you guys have never been there, it's pretty cool to see. It's actually kind of dirty to be honest. It kind of looks like total garbage, but I'll still put that on the video. But you guys all take it easy, have a great day. Love you guys. Later.